Hello and welcome to TTV News broadcast on TayNinhTV newspaper and radio television with some latest events in the province and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, during a walking trip to Australia, Mr. Nguyễn Minh Lâm, member of the Provincial Party Standing Committee and Vice Chairman of TayNinhTV Provincial People Committee, along with TayNinhTV delegation, paid a courtesy visit to Consul Generals of Vietnam in Sydney.
At the meeting, the Consul General Nguyễn Thanh Tùng highly appreciated the cooperative activities between the Vietnamese and Australian localities, particularly in the high potential sectors such as agriculture, education, and urban planning. He affirmed that the Consul General is always ready to act as a connecting and provide maximum support for Vietnamese enterprises and localities in assessing and operating with Australian partners. On behalf of the TayNinhTV province, the Vice Chairman Nguyễn Minh Lâm expressed his gratitude for the support from the Consul General. He also expressed the hope to continue receiving assistance in building the connections and promoting the cooperation process with Australia, especially in the fields of high-tech agriculture. And with that, the delegation officially conducted its investment and trade promotion activities in Australia. This trip has opened up many new cooperation opportunities and contributed to strengthening the relationship between TayNinhTV province with Australian partners and bringing mutual benefits to both sides.
On the afternoon of July 16, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, Phạm Tấn Hòa, along with leaders of provincial departments and agencies, directly inspected the preparation for the groundbreaking ceremonies of key work and projects in the province on the occasion of 80th anniversary of the National Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, September 2nd, 1945, September 2nd, 2025.
Accordingly, Vice Chairman Phạm Tấn Hòa and the working delegation inspected the following projects: the investment, construction and operation of infrastructure at Bình Hoan Nam Quan Industrial Park, Đức Huệ Cấm Mill, invested by Hoàng Cầu Long An Company Limited; Phước Vinh Tây New Urban Area Project in Phước Vinh Tây Cấm Mill, invested by the Vinhomes VIG Consortium; the construction of access roads to projects on Provincial Road 827E, Tân Trụ Cấm Mill, managed by Long An Construction Investment Project Management Board. Currently, preparations for the groundbreaking ceremonies at these three projects are being urgently implemented to ensure the schedule and timelines comply with the government's overall plan and program. Vice Chairman Phạm Tấn Hòa requested the investor to closely coordinate with relevant departments, localities, and units to complete preparations with detailed and specific plans covering security, traffic management, reception arrangements for delegates, the audio and audiovisual transmission to ensure the successful organization of the groundbreaking ceremonies for these key projects in the province. This is expected to inspire the people and businesses to continue contributing and dedicating to the country's overall development. To date, across the country, there are 250 projects and works in 34 provinces and cities eligible for groundbreaking or inauguration, with a total investment of approximately 1,280 trillion Vietnam dong, including 89 inauguration projects and 161 groundbreaking projects.
According to the forecast, by 2025, the gross regional domestic product GRDP for the TayNinhTV province is estimated to reach over 352 trillion Vietnam dong, and equivalent to approximately $13.5 billion US. And with this impressive figure, the TayNinhTV is expected to rank among the top 10 provinces that is with the largest economic scale in the country. The province's economic structure continues to shift strongly toward industrialization and modernization, with the industry and construction sector accounting for more than 50% of GRDP, becoming the main growth drivers and making a significant contribution to the local social-economic development. In parallel, TayNinhTV is also focusing on the development of high-tech agriculture and quality services, gradually improving the quality of life for residents and laying a solid foundation for sustainable development in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, after more than a month since the merger, the new TayNinhTV province is showing great momentum in improving the investment environment and creating favorable conditions for businesses, The positive signals are reflected not only in policies and the determinations of local authority, but also through the real-life experiences of investors themselves.
Before the merger, the former Long An was considered one of the bright spots in the Provincial Competitiveness Index, or PCI, consistently ranking high nationwide. Notably, in 2024, Long An ranked in the top 3 PCI provinces in the country and was highly prized by the business community for its dynamism, transparency, and effective governance. Meanwhile, in recent years, the former TayNinhTV province had also made significant progress, focusing on administrative reform, investment support, and improving industrial zone infrastructure quality. In my opinion, TayNinhTV provincial government is very flexible and quick in supporting businesses. So looking ahead, I believe TayNinhTV will be among the top provinces in striving for high PCI rankings nationwide. Previously, I was an investor in the former Long An and now in TayNinhTV province. The environmental and PCI of the former Long An were always among the top in Vietnam, and I know that in the most recent years, it's ranked in the top 3 with the merger of the provinces, and especially under the leadership of the current TayNinhTV leaders, from the Provincial Party Committee to the departments and agencies who are dynamic and committed to accompanying businesses. I believe the PCI of the new TayNinhTV province will remain among the leading provinces in the country. The combination of infrastructure advantages, strategic location, and a dynamic administrative style is expected to help the new TayNinhTV maintain its top position in the national PCI rankings. This is not only a hub from the business community, but also a driving force for the local government to continue its reform efforts, creating an attractive and sustainable investment environment.
The audience with increasingly improved infrastructure and abundant resources, TayNinhTV is affirming its position as an attractive destination for investors in the logistics and trade sectors.
And to promote economic growth and enhance competitiveness, TayNinhTV has planned 14 logistics center projects along with a number of key commercial infrastructure projects such as shopping malls, trade centers, and wholesale markets. And these are strategic steps aimed at building up highlight a potential projects to attract both domestic and international investors. In addition, TayNinhTV currently has many key export products, including rice, dragon fruits, salted limes, melons, full bananas and cashew nuts, seafood, textile, footwear, and mechanical equipment. And these products not only expand export markets but also contribute to increasing the value of local production. And furthermore, with a domestic market of nearly 3 million people, TayNinhTV holds a major advantage in developing the trade and consumer sectors, opening up many opportunities for distribution and retail businesses. With its strategic location along the border, Bình Hiệp commune in TayNinhTV has been effectively leveraging the potential of the Bình Hiệp International Border Gate to promote a comprehensive socio-economic development. And thanks to the advantage of hosting the Bình Hiệp International Border Gate, Bình Hiệp is becoming a vital trade connection point between Vietnam and Cambodia. Currently, within the industrial park of the border gate economic zone, there are 2 foreign invested enterprises operating steadily and creating the jobs for over 2,000 workers. Commerce, services, and small-scale industry are seeing strong growth and contributing to the transformation of the local economic structure. Various production facilities across multiple sectors are meeting the consumer demands both within and beyond the region. At the same time, the commune continues to push forward with the new rural development program, promoting the OCB One Commune One product program of products and improve the income for the local residents step by step, building a stable and sustainably developing border region.
Alongside the entire country, on the morning of August 16, TayNinhTV province during the nationwide campaign Marching Forward with Vietnam, the program organized by the Ministry of Public Security in coordination with Nhân Dân newspaper took place at Baden Square and was live-streamed to 34 provinces and cities, covering more than 3,000 commerce wards and special administrative zones across the country. At the ceremony, hundreds of thousands of participants nationwide wore red shirts with yellow star, united in spirit as they watched the national flag raising ceremony at historic Baden Square and sang the national anthem in unison. Immediately after the event, more than 25,000 people in TayNinhTV, including officials, officers, workers, public servants, union members, students, and residents, joined a 2.5 km solidarity walk. Each step taken in TayNinhTV contributed to millions of steps across the nation, symbolizing Vietnam's collective stride into a new era. The Marching Forward with Vietnam campaign is not just a hard promotion work. It is a journey of unity, sharing and spreading the spirit of patriotism and national pride. Every step today carries a message of just determination and positive contributions to the community for a strong, resilient, and sustainably developing Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning in August 2025 at Việt Đức Ranchip Hospital, doctors embarked on an unprecedented and grueling battle in Vietnam, a simultaneous heart and lung transplants to save critically ill patients.
The 38-year-old mother has spent nearly 3 full months in the hospital with the increasingly shallow breast and failing heart, and her chances of survival counted by the days. The patient has congenital heart disease, accompanied by pulmonary hypertension, and both medical and surgical treatments were no longer effective. And the medical judgment at the time was crystal clear: without a heart-lung transplant, the woman would not survive. But performing a simultaneous heart-lung transplant is one of the most complex procedures in modern medicine. Worldwide, only about 100 cases are performed each year, and for Vietnam, it was the first time ever. The number of heart-lung transplants globally is not high, and even lung transplants are difficult. Heart transplants are more difficult, and now doing both together is technical and logistically many times harder. Việt Đức Hospital has done very well with the lung transplants and heart transplant also, and now we just take the next steps, combining the heart and lung. The surgery lasted many hours, and all kinds of experiences from hundreds of previous heart and lung transplants was mobilized. The operation was successful, but the medical team remained under great pressure as the recovery process for both the heart and lung at the same time poses exponentially greater challenges, and every possible complication was anticipated and handled promptly. Continuous blood filtration, lung protective mechanical ventilation, and immunosuppressive medication to prevent the rejection, and everything was synchronized. 21 days after the surgery, the patient was able to eat on her own, communicate, and was waiting to be discharged. I never dared to imagine I could become a healthy person again, because the one who gave me this heart and lung, they were so healthy and so young. The success of this surgery not only saved a young mother, but also opened up hope for patients suffering from end-stage heart and lung diseases when all of their treatment methods have failed. And more than 30 years ago, Vietnam performed its first organ transplant, a kidney transplant from a living donor. Since then, significant milestones have continuously been achieved. For 1992, the first kidney transplant, and 2004, liver transplant from a living donor, and 2010, heart transplant from brain-dead donor, and 2017, first lung transplant from a living donor, and 2025, first simultaneous heart and lung transplant. And from something one deemed impossible, Vietnamese medicine has proven that we are capable of mastering some of the most challenging organ transplant techniques in the world. And how heartbeat, each returning breath, is a victory for the science, for compassion, and for the relentless will to move forward.
TayNinhTV province has recently proposed adjustment to its land use targets for 2030, Rule 2030, based on the 2024 land inventory resource and socio-economic development needs for the 2026-2030 period. This proposal introduced significant changes to the land use structure compared to the previously approved plan. According to the proposal, there will be major adjustment in the structure of agricultural and non-agricultural land. By 2030, agricultural land is expected to decrease significantly to around 606,000 hectares, which is over 51,000 hectares less than the target previously allocated by the Prime Minister under the Decision number 326. Conversely, non-agricultural land is proposed to increase to over 245,700 hectares, an expansion of nearly 50,000 hectares. This step indicates that TayNinh is focusing its land resources on supporting industrial, urban, and infrastructure development projects in the coming period. The proposal is currently awaiting approval from the competent authorities to be implemented soon, ensuring timely support for the province's socio-economic development goals. TayNinh is actively promoting scatter forestry tree planting, aiming to grow millions of trees each year to improve the environment and increase forest coverage. This effort is a key part of the province's sustainable development strategy. According to the plan, TayNinh will focus on planting trees along transportation routes, imports, and in public areas. At the same time, the province is also prioritizing reforestation of currently barren production forest land. To achieve this goal, the province is encouraging residents to actively plant trees in gardens, along roadsides, and around their homes, contributing to widespread greenery and helping to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Priority is given to native species, economically valuable trees, or safe trees. TayNinh has also set a goal to achieve a forest coverage rate of approximately 9.5% by 2030.
Ladies and gentlemen, localities in the upstream areas of Đồng Tháp province are entering the flood season. Some farmers are implementing the model of storing fish in the fields, which not only generates extra income, but also contributes to reduce destructive fishing practices and protecting aquatic resources.
During the 2024 flood season, the flood season fish storage group in Dùng Bang Hamlet, Thường Phước, Camille harvested over 10 tons of various freshwater fish, earning around 200 million Vietnam dong in revenue. This year, as floodwater spread across the fields, members of the group have repaired their tons, worked together to stack milliliter posts, and includes the over 150 hectare field with nets to continue storing fish, which will be harvested as the floodwaters recede. The land here is used for farming only twice a year. During the flood season, we release the water to collect silt, so the land is left unused. That's why some of us take advantage of the idle time during the flood season to store fish. When the water goes down, we harvest the fish for extra income and to support our livelihoods during the flood season. In Phú Thọ, Camille, this is the third year the Quitting Ecological Agricultural Production Cooperative has implemented the flood season fish storage model, coverage 170 hectares with participation from 70 households. The cooperative also combines fish storage with experiential tourism services, helping promote the local image and aiming to create an additional income source for farmers. When we store fish during the flood season, we also combine it with experiential tourism. Visitors mainly come to experience the daily activities of local farmers during their flood months, such as setting up fish traps, netting, live fishing, catching eels, and so on. We usually start operating around the end of 7 lunar months. The flood season fish storage model being implemented in Đồng Tháp is managed under the community-based approach, with everyone working together to protect the fish population, treating it as a shared resource. Each member is responsible for preservation and must not exploit the resource indiscriminately. This approach not only generates additional income during the flood season, but also raises awareness about aquatic resources protection. Precision fish storage is currently seen as an effective nature-friendly model in some types of upstream areas. With the community's joint protection efforts, the natural fish population is not only reserved for harvesting, but also provided with a favorable environment for reproduction, creating livelihoods while helping to curb destructive fishing practices and ensure the sustainable protection of aquatic resources.
And today, TTV News wrap up now. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next program.